trip to Canada was a bit of a fabulous disaster last week. 17 drivers found themselves on the outside looking in. It took a lead foot to find the podium, and David Holland picked up his first win of this young season. And while some drivers have shown early that they can run in the top 5, nobody seems to be doing it better right now than Jose Malbran. Texas on tap tonight and the Circuit of the Americas for round 4 in the Precision Racing League Formula 3 Series, and you'll see it all live here on the Global SimRacing Channel and the iRacing Esports Network. Hello everyone, I'm Sean Ambrose, and well, that's my less favorite brother John over there in the other chair. Joe Peak at the helm for us tonight, and the very watchful eye of the great Dougie Beard behind the cameras for us. John, welcome home, buddy. Our favorite track. You and I share a pretty special memory, and or maybe not so special memory here, but I'm sure we'll get to that here at some point during the race tonight. How about right now you just tell us a little bit about this amazing American Grand Prix circuit?
Well, Sean, amazing it is. The most technical track in the United States, that's my opinion, of course, but this track circumference is 3.41 miles, 20 turns, 11 left, 9 right. The elevation change on this track is 130 feet, turn 1 being the highest of that elevation. We have a 45-minute race tonight. For a lap around this track, let's go on board with our lap guide.
All right, we're in the GSRC Formula 3, so let's do a lap around Circuit of the Americas. Turn 1 can be deceiving, not just because of the blind apex, but because the crest at turn-in can often cause drivers to take it in too deep. Try to find the throttle without too much wheel spin, and then we head back downhill into the S's. These will progressively tighten, but the big concern here is taking too much of these pyramid curves at the apexes. Hit them too hard, and the car will get crazy unsettled. Even though there's lots of paved runoff to either side, the slowdown penalties will be costly if you're forced to cut through them because you're trying to catch it. Eventually, it culminates in the right-left of 8 and 9, which climb steeply uphill and require you to get on the throttle just as you come over a rise. But these are actually rather critical to the lap, because after we swing it through 10, we approach the hard braking of 11. This hairpin is not only a potential place to pass, but it dumps you onto the backstretch. Basically, whether you're entering or exiting the corner, it can have a dramatic effect on the battle you're in. This straightaway is the longest acceleration zone on the circuit and ends down in the hairpin of 12. The majority of overtakes tend to happen here, but as with any high-speed straight heading into a heavy braking zone, missing your brake marker by just a tiny bit can leave you sliding into the runoff. Now we enter the stadium section, which has a series of slow back and forth hairpins. This car doesn't handle low-speed acceleration terribly well, so it can be easy to burn up the rears through here or loop the car. Once you're out of it, you've got to get to the left to open up the long triple apexer of Turkey. It's sort of like the Nürburgring's miss-hit-miss, in which you want to clip the middle apex but not the other two. It should only need a tiny lift to get through it, and then you've got the underrated turn 19. It's off-camber and downhill, really forcing you to fight some frustrating understeer. At last, there's turn 20. On the surface, it looks pretty unassuming, but getting to the power coming out of there is trickier than you expect. That'll be important to keep drivers from attacking you into turn 1, but hopefully you've now finished a lap around Circuit of the Americas.
And there you go. There is a hot lap in the Formula 3, the iRacing Formula 3 here at Circuit of the Americas. And you know, the Precision Racing League Formula 3 Series is brought to you by Apex Button Box. This season, all drivers who complete at least 8 races will be entered into a random drawing to receive a free button box. It is Apex Button Box's goal to be able to provide an affordable, reliable button box to those who do not have the time or materials to create their own. To find out how you can get your hands on one, check them out on Facebook. Just go over there, type in Apex Button Box. You'll find them. They'll come up, check out their Facebook page, and find out how you can get your hands on one of those Apex Button Boxes. John, it's time to talk about the championship, and things are heating up here, heading into round 4. As I said in the intro, a lot of drivers have shown they've been able to run consistently in the top 5 here early in the season. But now we'll get started talking about the Drivers' Championship and where we sit with that currently. And Jose Malbran, That's the driver right now. He's got 2 top 5s this season, but what he's been is brutally consistent. Good points yield all 3 rounds so far. That sees him sitting at the top. Michael Overbay now just 3 points behind on his strong finish last week. David Holland. Now, that win certainly helped, and we'll keep him up there. Leadfoot Racing really hot right now. Jefferson Padavani, tough week last week. That'll leave him in 4th right there with David Cristelli knocking on his back door there in 5th. And then we'll go down to the teams championship. And that's where we're going to find Leadfoot right now. And yeah, it did take a Leadfoot to win this race last week at Mossport. Well, it's got them sitting in 2nd, looking up at Alpine Stars Geodesic here. Currently only 59 points behind and closing on the 1-2 by Holland and Gritzko last week. Forward Bite Racing sits in 3rd, 98 points back. Apex Button Box Black down there with Cristelli and Richter. Just 3 points separate them and Crash for Cash. McLaughlin and Wildridge there fighting strong just behind them. John, we've got a huge field here at COTA tonight. 35 drivers registered, ready to go. Most have all put in times. I'd say, well, a little bit more than 2/3 of them put in times here at this point. Qualifying, just a few minutes here underway. Why don't we talk about the details real quick of tonight's race?
Yeah, Sean, it's interesting to look at those points. I missed a week. I missed last week. I hear it was pretty eventful. So looking to catch that up on the Global SimRacing Channel later on, maybe this week. But tonight's race, this is race 4, round 4 of season 15 in the Dallara F3. The setups you're using open, as we talked about in previous broadcasts. What does that mean? Open means that each driver has the ability to make changes to his or her liking. And for this track, you will make changes. You'll kind of pray that you had maybe a 4th wing out there to hold you down and have higher downforce. Race distance, 45 minutes. Will we see pit stops? Absolutely. Now you can on this track go on one set of tires, but you're going to be limited to the amount of fuel that you have, and that's why they'll need to pit. Incident cap, Sean, is set at 20. And why do I kind of emphasize that? We saw in practice some people with 150 incident points, an average of 72. So that's going to play key here for these guys, especially that first lap going into turn 1, that crest with the off-camber hill. So this is going to be exciting, and we hope everyone watching will think so as well. Sean?
And John, they're going to be watching it here on the iRacing Esports Network. And that's right here where the Global SimRacing Channel is bringing this to you here. But folks, if you're watching this on YouTube right now and that little subscribe button is red, that means you haven't subscribed to IESN yet. So go ahead and do it. And if you're watching this on Twitch or Facebook, maybe later on, get on over to YouTube and give them a little love there and subscribe to the iRacing Esports Network, where you'll find the Global SimRacing Channel, LSR TV, Race Spot, Apex TV. Who did I leave out? SimSpeed TV. Yeah, out of Australia. So join and hang out with us. Watch some iRacing here on the network. But John, watching David Holland here on screen, getting qualifying, going here now just about halfway through, a little over that. Holland going to bring it in. And he just gets bumped by Andres Espinoza coming across the line.
Yeah, 4/10 quicker. That's a pretty good lap. These guys have about 4.5 minutes. Keep in mind, Sean, it takes about 2 minutes to get around this track. So your first lap is a burner, which is going to be about 2:30. So really only one good lap that these guys are going to be able to get in if they start now. So as you alluded to, Espinoza off to a great start.
Yeah, and he did it on a hot track, John. It's 107 degrees here out in Elroy today, and we talked about this track and its surroundings. This is a pretty barren piece of earth over here in Elroy here. There's not a lot around, not a lot to knock the wind down. Fortunately, the wind is under 10 miles an hour right now. That's a good thing here because it can get very windy, and that could wreak havoc getting to the top of the hill there in turn one. Maybe not so much a factor today. What's going to be the biggest factor on this F3 today, John?
The biggest factor is staying on track. That's going to be key to this entire race. You know, it's if you're a driver, and especially after what I hear happened last week, your goal should be to stay focused, stay on track, and just finish this race. If you finish this race, Sean, you could actually have a podium finish. You saw that last week, and I think you're going to see that this week. Passing zones on this track, they're really, there's two places you can pass here. One is down the long back straightaway, okay, going into 12, the famous turn 12, and on the front straight. But you have to outbrake them. You can't pass in the carousel or the Grand Plaza. The stadium section, again, you can't pass there. If you do, if you put your nose in there, it's going to be snipped off. The other thing, these turtlebacks. You and Soup called them, what did you call them, Sean?
The snapping turtles. These
snapping turtles.
Snapping turtles, yes.
And honestly, I like that. 13-inch raised concrete on the apex of these corners and the high-speed S's. Those are going to play a factor. You take these light cars on that concrete, and I can tell you, concrete doesn't move, is going to affect these cars. So I think, you know, with all those off-camber turns, the crest in one, the heavy braking, the passing zones really are only going to be the back straightaway in the front and out braking someone. So it's going to be interesting tonight.
We still have a lot of cars cycling around and still a few coming out of the pits just now. Gritzko, one of them, just coming out here to start a lap, and he's shutting that down. He was actually letting a car get by there at the top of the hill. But Gritzko right now only good enough for sixth. And again, still a lot of cars cycling around on track, and actually several who currently still find themselves sitting in the pits. John, you talked about those incidents and how they will rack up. They only have 20 available to them. That's also a problem here in qualifying. You can't pick up an incident qualifying. So whereas you want to push the limits and try to get the very best time you can, you're coming out on a car that, you know, again, doesn't have a lot of heat in the tires, not race ready. You're coming out of that qualifying set. Really, really tough to lay down your very best lap when you've got a very limited shot at it like you do here today with only a minute left to qualifying. Santana sitting P3 in queue right now, coming around to finish up this lap. Let's see what he's got here.
You mentioned the incident point, Sean. I think it may be better for these guys to park and walk around this track, just to prevent that incident cap from growing before the start of this race. But something also that you know you'll hear throughout the race. Sean and I actually took the liberty. Precision Racing League did a great job on their forums and kind of to get to know the drivers and their background, profession, etc. So we kind of encapsulated that data into a spreadsheet. So tonight we're going to kind of give it a little shout out, and maybe some people have nicknames and their career choice of profession. So we'll be reading that this evening, and hopefully you find that interesting.
Well, okay, we don't have to use it all up today. We can save some of it, maybe. I don't know, leave them hanging for more? I don't know. Just let's see. There's Gritzko. Get another one. Let's see. That was good enough for 6. So that's where he sits, still stuck there in 6th. Qualifying just now ending. Everybody on track got to get one more shot at this to come across the stripe.
Let's see what Overbay has here. Overbay is now in the stadium section here.
Yeah, cars moving out of the way in front of him. They see him coming through. Overbay's got a good one going here, John.
Yeah, coming through the plaza. You can go flat out here if your car is hooked up right, and it looks like his is. So this could be a good lap here.
They're in a 19, making his way, and the run here to 20. Hard on the brakes. Got to get this right-hander or the left-hander correct. Doesn't swing it out into the kitty litter there. The turf, the jello. That's a
Bumps
good
him up
one.
to 5th. Yes.
Let's go pick up Montini here, see what he's got. Yeah, he keeps that nice and tidy. Right up on top of the rumble strips, across the line.
Bumps him up to 8th, Sean.
All right,
From
yeah,
10th
nice
to 8th.
run. Oh, here comes McLaughlin. It's going to be close for McLaughlin. That'll get him up to 19th. Okay. Daniel Zygers. Here we go. Let's see what Zygers has got. That's Zygers. There we go. That's a better lap. He got a good stab at it there. Gets him up to 10. John, I'm trying to see if we've got anybody else out there.
Well, we got some drivers going over the crest in 1, but they're not going to get a lap in.
Yep. I think we're good. Let's get this grid in. We got a big field tonight. Standing start right there on the front stretch in front of the garages there. We'll go to starting grid now. Andres Espinosa, David Holland on the front row, John. Row 2 going to be Kevin Santana and Francisco Montini. Row 3 is going to be graced by Michael Overbay. Glitter Pants, Jefferson Padavani there in 6th. Row 4,
glitter pants.
Delp and Christian Gritzko in row 4. Row 5 is going to be Federico Montini and Daniel Zygers in the 10th spot, John.
Row 6, we have Eric Luke. And on the outside of him, we have Jose Malbrin. In row 7, we have Jerome Bartholomew. And on the outside of him is Marco Oliveira. In the 8th row, we have Lyndon Swabby. On the outside of Lyndon, we have David Cristelli. In the 9th row, we have Takeshi Kida. And on the outside of him, we have Jay Steffi. In row 10, Owen McLaughlin on the inside, and on the outside, Paul Wilbridge.
All right, I'll take row 11, and the rest of this field will be Tyler Gore. The Canadian starts 21st tonight next to Joe Walker, 22nd. Row 12 is going to be Aaron Webb starting 23rd tonight. Chris Richards on his outside, 24th. Andy Spicer starting 25th. Charles Sumner going to round out row 13. Row 14, Mike Richter and Danny Duchesne with us tonight. Row 15, Carlin Andrew and Rem Ambrosie's back with us tonight. Start 30th. We'll go down to the last few cars in this field. Matthew Gunderson there, 31st. Karsten Quinn, 32nd. Daniel Barnett, 33rd. Scotty Zerk, 34th. And Craig Holden, 35th. John and everybody getting on the grid, getting ready to start this race. We've got a great one on tap for you tonight here at Circuit of the Americas. Again, a standing start here in the Formula 3 series. Everybody lining up here on the front stretch all the way back to the start-finish line, which you see there in the background to the left. That's where that start-finish line is. The cars grid up in front of that. Your pit boxes all to the right. A very, very long pit road. It's a bit of a journey to get down there, isn't it, John?
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right, here we
right
go.
Now,
lights are up. And the Formula 3 series for the Precision Racing Leagues is mean green and underway here at Texas at the Circuit of the Americas. They make the run up to the top of the hill. Espinosa, Holland. Espinosa gets away clean and everybody else back behind, stacking up already here early, trying to find their way off the top of the hill and down into the S's. Espinosa gets away clean. Holland with a nice run, but Francisco Montini right up the wing here of David Holland following him. Now they make the trip back up the hill onto the left-hander. And then we'll go back down the hill here once they complete the right-hander and now the short left-hander.
Oh man, what a start for these guys. It looks like we had one incident there in turn 2, but these guys are being really smart right now, Sean. They need to get into single file, and that's what most of them appear to be doing.
Montini. Montini on the attack already on David Holland, gets on the outside. Like you said, Johnny's got to outbrake him here. Down into turn 12. Does he have enough to get that done? It's early. Don't want to get the car
got to
around
be
yet.
careful. Yeah, he's got to be careful. These tires are not warm yet. You cannot outbrake.
Ooh, and look at them all breaking behind him. Padavani. Whoa. Briscoe, Santana, all come into 12 at the same time.
Here we go into the stadium section here, Sean, and 13 and 14. These guys are. Oh, we got a spin.
Is that Padavani?
Padavani. Yes, Jefferson
He
Padavani
gets clipped
took
again.
a spin.
We'll get back to that one later. Padavani losing many spots will stay up with the leaders. Everybody's spreading out now here out front after Padavani gets turned around. First, all the way back through 7th now, has spread out on this track. They complete the first lap, come around. It's Padavani with the big problem here early. McLaughlin's had a problem.
Yeah, Sean, look, Andy Spicer has jumped up 11 spots in the first lap. He must have had an amazing start and launch into one.
Yeah, as I pick him up and you say that, I saw he's probably going to pick up an off track there. Tyler Gore, I think, has had a problem as well. He may be around. Lots of cars still having trouble getting this track figured out here early on, as we're just now working lap 2.
You obviously know this league better than I do, but again, if you've got a driver who can just be conservative, keep that car on the track, they're going to have an excellent day. We're already seeing, these guys being aggressive with their driving. This car and this track, so much input on that steering wheel and on that gas, it will spin easily. And with these off-camera turns, well, that's your recipe for disaster.
Let's go to Overbay right now in 7th, trying to make a run here on Santana and pick that up. Still very, very close battle there. You see Gritsko just up ahead, Zegers, Santana, Overbay chasing here. Overbay down a couple spots, looking to get those back here.
Yeah, Santana's he's falling back too, Sean. I don't know if there maybe was an incident with them going into 13 on that first lap, but they seem to be going backwards.
Now the car that isn't going backwards is Andres Espinoza, our leader, starting to put just maybe a little bit of a gap on the two fighting behind him, and Montini and Holland, as they just came across the line. The leader trying to break the slipstream going up the hill, John. He was taking several different lines across the front straight, climbing up top.
Put him in an F3 car, put him in drone racing. He is turning some blistering laps here.
I'll tell you what, Holland is found the pace all of a sudden back here. Behind Montini, he's back on his horse. Bad time to fight, though, John. Like you said, really passing up here, not really one of your best chances. If you can just stay patient enough to stay in the wake here, then he'll get that shot up the back straight into 12.
Yeah, this corner right here is showing 11. It's actually a 130-degree turn. One would think it's 90 degrees, but it's a sharp left-hander, and you've got to brake hard and you have to ease into the power. But launching off that corner is so important because the straightaway is just so long.
And here comes Holland to the inside.
Yeah.
Ooh, in hot. Out wide.
Got loose in that AstroTurf there. Yeah, our director has spooled up that replay on Padavani a few laps ago. Let's take a look at that, Sean, and see what happened to Jefferson.
I didn't catch it exactly because he was right behind the battle there, but here it is.
Yep, coming down in turn 12. You know turn 12, right, Sean?
I know turn 12, John. Yes.
Okay, he brakes. Oh, there was a car there that was stopped. The 3 wide. Okay, he's hung out in that outside lane, and that car is just going to rotate. around on him as he goes to the left here.
Yeah, we're looking at Cristelli now. That's all right. Cristelli got by Padovani, just barely missed him. Here we go, one more shot out of there. There's Jefferson. On with the Brazilian driver there, and he turns around right there. John going in.
Yeah, great job by the other drivers avoiding him. That could have been, well, that could have ended his day quickly.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that does bring Padovani, and there's the contact at him around. It brings it back out on track in 14th right now, John, and he's a man on an island right there. He's 3 seconds behind, about 3.5 seconds ahead. It's all his track, so if a recovery drive is in the works, he's got plenty of track to do it here at the moment. As we go back up to the front, things looking a little bit tighter here. Espinosa not quite running away with it yet. Holland, Montini seem to settle their battle for now. Still a lot of time left in this race, and well, let's face it, things are settling down a little bit. Not for Overbay, not for Zegers, not for Santana. Everybody getting down into turn 12, braking hard. Overbay still stuck at 6, still trying to get around Kevin Santana.
Yeah, we have Marco Oliveira. He's in the pits right now. We saw Eric Luke drop out just a few minutes ago. So I don't know if Oliveira has some damage. Certainly this cannot be a pit strategy this early in the race. It would not benefit him.
Yeah, I would think as far as pitting goes, I think here at Cody, you're probably going to want to stay out just as long as you can here, as long as you're turning fast laps.
Sean, let's take a look at Samurai, Takeshi Kita. Takeshi is up 4 spots in 13th right now. Here's a driver that can have a great day right here. We know Takeshi is consistent. I actually got to run with him earlier this afternoon. He's consistent, didn't have many incidents, so let's see what kind of day he can have today. The Samurai currently in 13th position.
Yeah, and you know what? In fact, several of the drivers in front of him right now, Cristelli, Swaby, Malbrin, all drivers on a good pace right now. So he's with a good group here that seems to be progressing well. Takeshi doing well at the moment, like you said. Great pace there for the Samurai. Oh boy, got a real hornet's nest going on here. Back for P17. Steffi trying to hold off Walker and Christopher Richards and Jerome Berthum in that.
Yeah, the boss is back there, Berthum.
Watch out.
He's waiting to pounce. He's got the run going down the hill into 11. Let's see if he can outbrake him on the inside. Well, he got through there.
Yeah, John, and you know, boy, there was more trouble. Kevin Santana lost a whole bunch of spots. I didn't see exactly why. I know we said there weren't many slowdown penalties here. There were more off-track incidents, but I wonder if he was the victim of one of those slowdown penalties because Zegers, Delp, Mulbrin all go by Santana. We'll stay here with the battle on screen. Battles all over this track right now, John. Drivers maybe not being as patient or as calm as we thought they might be.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of hard when you're 35 seconds back behind the leader. That's what you're seeing. You see it on the steering wheel. You see it on the screen, you know, and so the angst gets in and you think, okay, I've got to hurry up and get up there. But these guys right now battling is only hindering them from getting up to the front. If they would get in line, single file. I tell you what, right here's a good shot into turn 1. We talked about it earlier in the pre-race. That corner has a crest. It's off camber, meaning it's going the opposite way that the front wheels are cambered for this particular car. And when you get back in the power, it's easy to loop that thing. I'm surprised everyone's doing a good job of getting through one.
Well, it was a great pass by Jerome Berthum there. gets that car up in front of Walker and Richards. Little ways to go there to get to Steffi. But again, great to see all the cars in this field still competing well. Up at P9, Melbourne getting a spot from Santana. Santana getting dropped all the way to P10. Melbourne continuing his climb up the field. The geodesic driver had a bit of a wiggle there right in front of Santana. Santana had to get out of it just a bit. Melbourne back on the accelerator. Pulls off the pass, and I think he's got this one settled. Santana continues to lose spots in this race, and you've got to wonder, did he hurt the under tray? Did he hit one of those snapping turtles there at some point, John? Something is off in that car.
Well, we saw in practice a lot of these guys were getting 1 and 2 lap stints. You know, you really have to do an 8 to 12 lap stint here to know whether or not your car will be consistent through that run. I think we're probably seeing a case here with Santana. He has a good short run car, but when it comes to the long runs, it's going away. Now, granted, he could have hit one of those, as you call them, snapping turtles. And if that's the case, well, there's nothing you can do other than feed that snapping turtle because it's not going to get better.
Yeah. Boy, you know, looking at the gap up front, Espinoza, Holland become good partners up there up front. Holland, the Texan, they're chasing down Andres Espinoza. They've dropped Francisco Montini, who sits back there in third now. And he's all alone by himself because Ritzko's another 6 seconds behind. And here's the run down the straight into 12. Holland goes to the inside.
Here comes the software engineer from Midland, Texas. Goes into 12, has the inside going into 13. That's the preferred line you want. Let's see if he can hold them off.
Woo! And he's right up under the gearbox.
Again, he has the inside line here going into 13. I'm sorry, 14 and 15. Now through the high-speed Grand Plaza, the carousel.
This is really like 4 turns right here, isn't it, John?
Yeah, it really is. 4 turns and 6 shifts. And here down hard into 20. Sharp left-hander. Ease into that throttle. Let's see what happens to 1 here. Let's see if Espinoza, if he can get a run behind Holland and outbreak him on the inside going to 1. It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he had any interest in it at that time. I think he's, Holland gets not quite a great run off of 1. Here we go, side by side down the hill, John. It's not where you want to be side by side.
Yeah, not through the high-speed S's. This is, wow. Espinoza did a fantastic job on the outside of those high-speed S's, getting that position from Holland.
I think we used to say he put it on him right there. Oh, and Francisco Montini's had a problem, John. Oh, in the S's. I think he got high center on this curve. We got it on the replay.
Let's take a look here as that replay's going. All right, so he's coming down. He's starting through the left-hander, high-speed S. It's a quick left and a quick right, and you called it, Sean. Oh, my! That was like a Scott Pruitt incident there.
That was one of I'll let you explain that one. That was one of the bigger snapping turtles I've seen recently. And boy, he's going to hit it and hit it good. That's really what flipped the car up there at the end. But
yeah, we talked about it in the top of the show, those 13-inch concrete snapping turtles, which, by the way, you and Soup, excellent job for naming those snapping turtles. They are actually called turtles, but or turtle backs, I should say, and the snapping turtle is greatness. So, yeah, he got a hold of that thing, and it just launched his car.
Well, Grisco still riding back there in third, comfortably in third right now. Overbay, pace a little bit better, marginally better. Did have the fastest lap last time around, but Espinoza comes across the line, still defending up there in front of Holland. Overbay starting to see a little bit more there. Federico Montini in his mirror.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm looking at Grisco in third right now. They've actually caught up about 2 seconds to this group of Espinoza and Holland. So these guys fighting is actually helping Overbay, Montini, Grisco, Delp get closer to that front field.
And Santana back there picking up one of those spots back. It was Daniel Ziegers having a little bit of a problem here on the replay. Ziegers coming up the hill. John, we talked about this in the pre-race. Any part of turn one really difficult, challenging, not only for the drivers, but challenging in this car in the Formula 3.
Yeah, right where he spun, Sean, there is a dip there that will literally drop your jaw about an inch. And I think he just bottomed out and the car rose when he was braking and around he went.
John, I'm afraid Federico Montini just had a problem. Look at this battle on screen. Here we go, Ziegers, Swaby. We're just talking about this, John. These guys coming up here. Cristelli trying to defend.
It's real interesting, turn 12. You see these guys take the inside and try to outbrake them. The problem with that is you have to slow down about 20 miles an hour more than the guy on the outside because you have a sharp radius.
Boy, I think a stamp is in the process of being licked down there. Man, Takeshi Kita continues to rocket
Samurai.
up to this field, John. Yes.
The Samurai. Boy, what a fitting name for him, Sean. Here's an HR guy at a Santiago, Chile. Or not Santiago.
Santiago.
You know.
It's San Diego,
yeah, Santiago.
California.
Yeah, I know. But you guys have samurais in California, right?
We do. Yes. We live in the forest.
But anyway, a great a great run for Takeshi. He's also a guitar shredder, Sean. Does that mean he like puts them through shredding machines?
I think so I'd like to check out some of his fine work at some point. Yeah, Takeshi again continuing to really to just be solid, showing.
Padavani is going way back. Jefferson Padavani losing 60 positions.
Yeah, I saw him go in the pits. Now I don't know if this is it was a short stop, only about 11 and a half seconds in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, he must have had something off there, John.
Yeah, 35, almost 36 seconds. Now, as far as pit window, this would be a good pit window. He can make it the rest of the way on fuel. And you know what? He's back there. He's got the track to himself. Let's see if Glitter Pants here can do something with that.
Holland still on the hunt here, trying to figure out the puzzle that is Andres Espinoza as they go across the line. John, 25 minutes to go, probably about 14, 13 laps, something in that area. But this has been some really, really solid pace by our leaders here, Espinoza and Holland. And Gritsko continues to do what he does back there in third, but the mirror starting to fill up for Gritsko. Michael Overbay, who we had seen in practice, qualifying, his pace is good, and here he comes.
Now, correct me, Sean, on the first race, or I'm sorry, the second race, Overbay was fighting with Padavani to finish 1-2. Isn't that correct? At Zandvoort?
At Zandvoort? Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's see. Padavani finished fourth in that race, and Overbay won. So yes, they were battling in that race indeed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. Is it time for Holland to make the move here, John? He's going to give it a shot. He's taking a look.
He's doing it from the outside. This could work for him. And then again, maybe it won't.
Maybe it won't. Well, I mean, good discretion so far. Oh, what a bit of a slip up there by Espinosa. It's going to open the door for Holland. He's going to try to anyway. He's going to slam his foot in there. Holland with the drag race now. Espinosa's still going to take the advantage to the inside.
Yeah, you can't go side by side through the carousel here at the Grand Plaza. These guys are, I tell you what, they're doing a good job of giving each other room. They're putting on a good show.
Oh, John and Cristelli had problems down in 12. Oh, go figure. A problem down in 12. John, you've had a problem in 12 before, haven't you? Here we go on the replay. David Cristelli coming down the back straight. Did he get any help? I don't think so. It looks like he was all by himself here.
Yeah, just one of those things of getting in the gas too early. Yeah, turn 12, Sean. That does bring back some fond memories. I believe it or not, if you're watching this broadcast, I actually own that corner. I own turn 12 from a financial standpoint. Yes, Circuit of the Americas did send me a large bill for the accident we had there when a hood flew off and went in the grandstands and tore up the fence. And so, yeah, that corner will be named after me someday.
Oh, okay. Well, I might take you up on that. You know what? Hey, we're on Kita. The Samurai here has got Swaby in the crosshairs. Or on the chopping block, or yeah, okay. So Samurai doesn't have any
Yeah, I was going to say Samurais don't. They use like Chop Junior and Chef Chop and all that.
Slap Chop. There you go. Right? Is that what it was called?
No, that was Cannonball. That was the movie.
Okay. All right.
Slap. Never mind.
Keita is still trying to hunt down Swaby. They got a couple cars battling right in front of him there. You can see going down the hill. Some lap traffic there in front of him, catching it here. Lap traffic coming into play on this very, very big circuit, John. Obviously, some drivers struggling with it just a bit. I don't think we've seen anybody incident out yet, though.
Yeah, you're right, Sean. They haven't. A lot of these drivers are going around here. Takeshi's going around. I believe that was Paul or Barnett who pitted just a lap before.
Yeah, Kita able to get through there with minimal damage. That gap to Swaby still under a second. You just get a good complex of turns here. He's got a shot here to get some, make some of that ground back up here on the front stretch. And they've got a car lap. It's Andy Spicer in front of him. Looks to be, or maybe not Spicer. I'm trying to see who's going up the hill there. In front of him, that's Daniel Zegers in front of him. He's struggling with that connection just a bit, John.
Yeah, he's he's up 3 spots from where he started. He's having a decent run there, but he's got some heavy breathing behind him with Swaby. Meanwhile, out front, Espinosa is still leading, not by much. Holland is on the back from the 6/10.
John, we got a lot of cars starting to cycle in for pit stops. Jerome Berthum, Tyler Gore, Aaron Webb all in. Paul Wildridge, who was just in a lap ago, he leads everybody that pit. Now, Padavani had been in just a couple laps before that, but we think something was up there with Padavani. He definitely had some damage as he was in, twice as long as anybody else has been in here yet at this point, as those three, Berthum, Gore, and Webb, all start to make their way away from their pit stalls.
Yeah, and I'm seeing these guys, Sean, have 36, 37-second pit stops. I'm wondering if they're getting tires. Not what I would do, but, obviously that sense of security of having 4 fresh hand cooks may give them that confidence to move up.
Yeah, I think Gore was of that group, Gore was the only one that didn't take tires, John. Ty gets out back in 19th and finds himself right in the middle of a battle. But yeah, that car only 5.8 seconds in the box for him. There's your comparison there. Ty Gore, Jerome Berthum, and now find themselves separated by just under a second. But Gore opting to go without the tires, taking enough fuel to finish this race.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to see Espinoza and Holland come in here in the next lap, Sean.
Well,
I
I tell you what, I'd be a little bit more worried about what's going on. I don't think Espinoza and Holland are too concerned with it, but Gritsko right now holding on to third by just a thread. He has got heavy company for Michael Overbay, as they could also be contemplating a pit stop here with just under 20 minutes to go. More drivers coming in. Cristelli, Joe Walker. And Overbay continues to apply the pressure here. He's definitely in the tow now.
Yeah, Sean, I don't know how accurate your screening and scoring is. Little concerned on the incidents for Espinoza. I'm showing 15, but I don't know whether or not that's accurate.
Yeah, I'm showing he has some, and so I'm just not going to speculate on it. When he disappears into the ether, then we'll worry about it then. So right now, he leads this race barely. David Holland is really giving no quarter. The Texan really seems to love his drive here at Circuit of the Americas. He's closer than he's ever been now. It's a great run out of turn 20 up the hill. I think Holland pretty happy to stay where he's at right now, as long as he just keeps pace with Espinoza. No harm in being second when you still got 17 and a half minutes left. Overbay is in though. Michael Overbay has decided to bring it in, and I think we're going to see a little bit of monkey see, monkey do here.
Yep. You know, Sean, I'm looking through the field. It seems like everyone is taking tires. If you're someone like Overbay or someone in third and fourth position, it may be worth the gamble just to take fuel and get out.
Overbay took him. Santana doesn't, John. Santana opted for fuel only. Overbay's still going to lead everybody that's pit, but well, let's see here. How much of a difference are those tires going to make? Santana really struggled there, John, getting out of the pits and getting out of the turn.
Yeah, and surprisingly, he didn't take tires. His tires are warm, so that's interesting that he had an incident, or not an incident, but had issues coming out of pit.
We look at this battle on screen. Malbrin up to P7. That's Takeda. That's the Samurai. Takeshi Kita in front of him.
What a fitting name. The Samurai.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say Takeda. So, sounds like a dream.
Here they go. Leaders are in the pits now, Sean. Let's see what they do. Will it be fuel only, or will it be fuel and tires?
Well, I think they have options here. But they probably should both do the same thing. They've been pretty good.
They have options only if they're on the same comm channel.
Gritsko follows them in from P3. Both into those 1-2 spots. It's right where they started, John. Here is the war, the battle, and
fuel only. Fuel only. What a great stop.
Espinoza gets the edge on that one. Gritsko pulls into his stop. Got to be a quick one, and it is lightning quick for Gritsko.
Yeah, we talked about it a few minutes ago. The strategy would be not to take tires for him if he wanted that opportunity and that chance to get up there with those two. Unfortunately, Holland and Espinoza, well, they had that chess piece in front of them. They did the same thing. So I don't know if that's going to net him anything. But certainly a good call. And actually, it looks like he gained a little time on that stop compared to Holland.
Yes, I did. In fact, Espinoza able to take just a little bit less fuel, it appears, than David Holland. So maybe that team working on their fuel numbers, maybe just a little bit more carefully, John. But it certainly looks like a case of Espinoza taking just enough to finish this race.
Well, you would think the software engineer of Holland would have that figured out, you know?
Right? And you know what? Malbrin, Kita still battle on track, still have yet to pit. They'll have Grits going over Bay behind him, ready to take those spots back from him, but they continue to battle and battle hard. We talked about this in the pre-race, how Jose Malbrin has had 2 top 5 finishes this season, a consistent points haul all 3 rounds. It looks like he's setting himself up for another solid run here this evening, John.
Yeah, I'm looking to see Samurai come in now. He can possibly make it one more lap, but yep, and here they come. Let's see.
And it is a long trip trying to find that box down here, isn't it, John?
Oh yes, yes. And they've got quite a few cars here on pit road, so hopefully Takeshi has a good pit board here. Let's see what kind of stops they can get. Now, running those extra laps means that they don't have to take as much fuel. And they both burn away, Sean, at the exact same time.
Yeah. Wow. The police would have been proud of that, the band. I was going with synchronicity. Anyways, that's a hard reach. Oh, Kita! Kita with trouble there out of turn 1. Almost gets sideswiped.
Let's take a look at this, Sean.
Yeah, Zegers comes around and Kita coming out of the box here, making the trip up the hill, and it's Zegers coming up the straight. I don't know if I honestly, John, this is kind of a blind spot. I don't know if Kita even saw him there.
Yeah, you can't see those cars. You're coming up the crest. They're coming out of a walled pit exit, and obviously the guys leaving pit road, they want to get as far right as possible to have a smaller radius, or I'm sorry, a bigger radius of a turn. So I think it was just, one didn't see the other. You could see the brakes glowing on that 8 car, Zegers, as he was trying to whoa it up. Did a great job.
Well, I think really the big winner in all of this at the moment, after those pit stops cycled, was in fact Jose Malbrin, because he finds himself now holding on to that 7th spot and not necessarily pulling away from Swaby, but he has opened up a 1-second gap, and everybody behind Swaby there, they are battling hard. Kita trying to make some of this back up, at least stay in the top 10 to prove the great run that he's had this evening. But things remain the same up front. It's Espinosa, it's Holland, and Espinosa with the slight advantage there, and that pit stop has made good use of that here at the moment, but he is coming up on traffic, and that could be a big factor here at COTA.
Hey, just want to bring up real quick, Glitter Pants. He's back up to 12th. Remember, he had that long pit stop probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes ago. He's made his way back up to 12th position.
Yeah, and he's got Wilbert right in front of him here. Another possible spot. Got a ways to go, though, to catch Kita. I show him about 11.5 seconds deep at Kita. And with the pace that Kita's had tonight, I'm sure it's going to be hard to catch the Samurai. But Glitter Pants on a run here down the hill.
Yeah, Padovani is just not turning the laps that he's known to turn. I mean, he's about 2 seconds slower than what he was turning, during qualifying and practice. So I think, Sean, you called it earlier. I think he must have had an incident either with the snapping turtle or maybe an off track and a wing. Or, as I'm being told, contact the first lap.
Right, yeah, no, he did had that trouble there on the first lap that set him down, but I'd say the recovery has been good. And I think it's going to get one better here. He's going to step out, get around out of the slipstream, send it here into turn 12.
Out front, Sean, show me tears, show me tears. It's a man in first who likes to drink beer, according to his profile. He is just He's using the lap traffic just precisely. He's using the draft. He's using it to block off Holland and doing a great job at it.
Yeah, that gap now almost well, a little over more than a second now. It continues to increase, although that last lap was owned by Holland. But now, since they went across the stripe, Holland's had to deal with that traffic that you talked about, John.
And just for the view,
Did Jefferson just have a spin? We're being told. Padavani with trouble. Oh, John.
no, that's I think that's where Padavani was.
Yeah, no, he did spin it. He looped it. Yep, he gets
Okay,
the
here we have it on replay. Yeah.
He was feeling too good about that pass right there, John, wasn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
Tough break there for Glitter Pants. Cristelli going to get by as a result of that. Chris Richards has had a problem now.
Wow. Okay, let's see what we see here on the replay.
Yeah, he's going to spin it coming out of 20 here.
Same thing as Padavani. Just gets in that gas a little bit too soon.
He's got to do the it's a bit of an Austin Powers moment there, trying to get the car righted. It was about it was about a 6-point turn, John, I think.
And by the way, those of you watching, Espinoza, I'm only reading what I'm given here in the booth, and it shows that Espinoza is he drinks beer semi-professional. So that's the reason for the tears.
He's
tears
a semi-professional beer drinker? Are you saying he's a semi-professional beer drinker?
He is, yes.
That
in
is
Washington, D.C.
Okay. All right. In fact, I know of several good places to drink beer in Washington, D.C. So that's a hotbed for beer drinking, John.
Yeah, especially the last 3 years. But we won't go there. All right.
All right. So listen, with 6.5 minutes to go, Holland's got to start putting some pressure on here at some point. I mean, he's really at best, he's looking at maybe about 3 more laps when they come to the stripe. Got to think it's time to turn up the wick. If there's a wick to be turned up, do you think Holland has got anything left in that Formula 3?
You know, it's that's going to be interesting, Sean. Holland is really struggling. I don't know if you notice in 13 that rear end just gets wicked loose when he gets back on the gas, which gives Holland that ability to catch him and go to the inside through this carousel. But Holland may be just waiting just for that reason, Sean, waiting for that last lap. Because if you make that move now, well, you know, you're only going to make Espinoza more aggressive and greedy to get that spot back.
Yeah, watching Espinoza again. And I'll tell you what,
watch turn one here, Sean. Watch turn one. Watch how Holland approaches it. Holland will go wide and Espinoza will go in early. Both can be done, but Holland seems to get a better run here, and you're seeing it. And it, well, maybe you're not seeing it. Maybe we'll see it next time.
Maybe we will.
And then again, maybe we won't.
Well, you know, this is the best battle we've got on track right now. I know Cristelli's back there still trying to take down Wildridge. That's a good battle there just outside the top 10.
And Zegers is he's starting to catch up to the Samurai there in 9th.
Yeah, he's definitely shown better pace. And who got a problem there with Santana? Kevin Santana having trouble, John.
Our director has it spooled up here on the replay. Let's watch Kevin here and see what. Maybe it's an incident going into one.
Well, indeed it is, John. And you see right here, he goes in and well, lap traffic just in front of him. I think he got a little off on his braking point there. Maybe got spooked a little bit there with that lap traffic in front of him.
Yeah. Charlestown, West Virginia driver having trouble there with that bump and that crest going into one.
I guess he could stand in line to the left with everybody else that's had trouble with that bump and crest there into one.
Well, interesting enough, Sean, Kevin Santana is an asphalt laboratory technician. So maybe after the race, he can work with the officials here at COTA of maybe addressing that turn 1 issue.
They gave you way too much information to work with, man. Way too much information.
I'm trying to work with it here. Missing Scotty Zerk tonight, Sean.
Yeah, well, Scotty went up.
auto.
I was just gonna say Scotty wound up not starting. He was registered to run, but he didn't. He didn't run. And yes, I know you have some information about Scotty.
We're gonna hold that though, Sean.
Okay, hold that. Keep that when he's running. Keep it when he's running. There we go. Hey, listen, that battle in P11 that I talked about now, Wilridge, Cristelli, this is not over yet here, and I'll tell you what, Cristelli right now looking at a sincere opportunity here to take this one away from Paul Wilridge. Both drivers having a good run tonight, up here just outside the top 10 after gaining multiple positions for both of them.
Cristelli had a good run off of 20 there. Let's see if he can use that lap car in front of Wilridge to pick him going on the inside of turn 1.
Woolridge right up the gut there. Patient with it. John, I think they're going to get the white flag next time by. Looks like our leaders are.
Yeah, and I'm back up front here with Espinoza and Holland. The distance is about the same as it was before, so let's see if Holland turns it up here. Two guys turning pretty close to identical laps. Let's see what their lap times are this time by.
Well, not going to get too many more cracks at it here for David Holland. The Texan is...
yeah, Holland a half a second faster that lap.
Now you better get it right on this one, because this is it. The white flag is in the air.
Let's see if he can do something going down into 11. He can get through these high-speed S's, which that's where he seems to be struggling, Sean, of these high-speed S's here.
That was purple for Holland that last trip around. Fastest lap of the race there, a 1:56 flat, Jay.
That is a great lap considering the laps on these tires. And they have a lap car in front of them. That's going to help Espinoza in the slipstream.
Not too much there. It's really slow. Wow.
Now remember, Espinoza's struggling on turn 13, Sean, getting that power planted to those rear tires. Let's see what happens here.
Holland breaking really, really deep into 12. Knows he's running out of time.
Great corner for Holland.
This is it, John. This is it. Espinoza's still struggling with it just a little bit. Holland on the attack. Oh, watch out. Andres Espinoza all over the place. Oh, it's the same story, different act, though. Espinoza able to drive away once he got it sorted out. Heads down to turn 21 last time. The flagman has the checkered flag in the air. Andres Espinoza, your winner, round 4 here at Circuit of the Americas in the Precision Racing League Formula 3 Series. David Holland with a P2. Christian Gritzko gonna wrap up 3rd. Gonna try to here anyway.
Sean, let's go back and take a watch Cristelli and Paul Wilridge here. They've got a battle going on for 11th.
Certainly do, and it's
Wilbridge
really
threw that car into that corner.
he really did that time, John. Much like David Holland, he's just running out of chances here. Got to try and take advantage on a mistake by Cristelli. I don't know if it's going to happen. David looking strong there out of the turn. Now through the stadium section, Cristelli starts to pull away from Wilbridge.
Wilbridge, unless Cristelli makes a big miss. Oh, and Wilbridge just plows it in there.
That was desperation. And
Still
it
a
looks
good
like
run for those two.
Yeah, Cristelli gets a nice throttle control there out of 20. He is going to finish 10th. Wildridge just behind him. Jefferson Padavani, after his trouble this evening, going to wind up with P12. Jerome Berthum back there making his way into 19. He'll wind up with a 13th place run tonight. And a few cars left on the track here trying to finish out the lead lap. John J. Steffi, Joe Walker, Owen McLaughlin, Matt Gunderson, and Ty Gore all trying to round out the final lap here at Circuit of the Americas. But it's been a good one here on the Global SimRacing Channel and the iRacing Esports Network. We are going to head away for a quick break here. We'll see you back here in just a moment. We'll go through the final finishing order and talk to a few drivers about their race here at COTA. Wow, what a race. And I hope you didn't miss it here on the Global SimRacing Channel and the iRacing Esports Network. We're here. We just finished round 4 here in the Precision Racing League's Formula 3 Series. And John, Joe, we've got the results for you now. Everybody watching, Andres Espinoza had a great fight with David Holland, the Texan, racing at, we'll just say, is his home track. A 1-2 for Espinoza and Holland tonight. Christian Britzko going to finish 3rd. Had a great race. Was able to keep Overbay out of the mirror enough there at the end to take the top or the last spot on the podium. O'Reilly will go P4. Nick Delp, a 5th place finish for him. Kevin Santana, a man who's actually talked to iRacing about improving the asphalt here. We'll see. Jose Malbrin, another solid points night, John. He'll finish 7th. Lyndon Swaby, 8th for him. The Samurai, Takeshi Kita, with an amazing run tonight, finishing in the top 10. He'll finish 9th, and 10th going to go to Daniel Zekers.
Yeah, and 11th, David Cristelli had a good finish tonight, up 5 spots. And next to him, Paul Wilridge, up 8 spots. Those two had a nice battle there on the last lap. Jefferson Padavani in 13th. Oh, Glitter Pants. Had a little incident there with 3 to go, but rebounded back for a good finish. Outside of him is Jeremy Barthume, the boss, in 14th. In 15th, Jay Steffi. Outside of Jay Steffi, Joe Walker in 16th, the Mid-South driver. Owen McLaughlin in 17th. Matthew Gunderson, the Canadian driver, he finishes in 18th. Another Canadian driver with Tyler Gore in 19th. And rounding out the top 20, Sean, Christopher Richards, the Midwest driver, up 4 spots.
All right, and all the rest of these drivers, a little bit of trouble tonight, are a little bit off pace, but Aaron Webb, one of them in 21st. Danny Duchesne with a 22nd place finish tonight. Karsten Quint, 23rd. Charles Summon, 24th. Daniel Barnett, 25th. Craig Holden, 26th. Shame, we never got to talk about Craig tonight. I hope he's back next week. We'll definitely get him on screen. Andy Spicer, 27th. Federico Montini, 28th, and 29th for his brother Francisco Montini. Not a good night for either of them. Marco Oliveira, he will finish 30th, John. And most of the rest of these drivers never even really got it started tonight. Mike Richter, Eric Luke, Curlin Andrew, Rem Ambrosi, Scotty Zerk. I think they just decided that, honestly, the pace wasn't there. This is a tough one. Like you said, in your opinion, and I share it with you, one of the most technical tracks in the United States of America. But speaking of technical, let's talk to Andres Espinoza. What a night, what a race, and he was on it all night. Andres, congratulations on a big win here this evening at COTA. How you feeling right now?
Oh boy, I'm still sweating.
Yeah, and this track will definitely make you sweat, won't it? I mean, it's a lot of challenges here at COTA with 20 turns.
Absolutely. It was a tough race. Holland really made me work for that one. The track was super warm, I believe. So yeah, it was challenging.
And it's your first win in the Formula 3. It's your second top 5 of the season. Gotta feel pretty good after missing round 2.
Oh, feeling amazing. Actually, I didn't have much practice on COTA, so feeling pretty good, same as motorsports last week. So it's kind of kicking in the F3 with.
How much of a threat was Holland back there? Did you think he had a shot at you? We noticed you were a little bit you were struggling down there in turn 13 just a little bit.
So we swapped positions a couple of times mid-race. Then I kind of felt he was like holding back. So I was really expecting probably him trying to overtake on the last 2 laps. But congrats to him. It was a great race.
Well, it really, really was. Now, next week, you got to tackle a totally different beast when we go to Bathurst. You going to make that one? And if so, how much preparation do you have to put in for a track like that?
Oh man, Bathurst is a good one. I actually enjoy that track. I haven't raced it on the F3 yet, but I'll be excited to put some good practice there.
All right, buddy, keep working hard. You'll be moving up the board here in this championship with a win now, and well, we wish you the best at Bathurst. We'll see you next week.
Thank you guys, and thank you to SRT Esport and to Mike Diaz for a great coaching this.
All right, and our thanks there to Andres Espinoza. John, you've caught up with who I'm sure has got to be pretty happy or maybe even a little bit disappointed he couldn't get around Espinoza there at the end, but you've caught up with David Holland.
Yes, the Dallas, Texas driver, Mr. Holland, Dave. How are you, sir? Are you happy with your second place finish?
Oh yeah, I can't be too disappointed with the second place. I thought I might have something for him there at the end, but we went back and forth on which setup to use. We settled on a high downforce setup. Thought the track was going to be really hot. It was, but I think Espinoza just had a little less downforce and turned out to be a better racing trim for him.
Yeah, we saw several times your key makeup spot catching up to Espinoza was turn 13 in the stadium section. Did you feel like that could be a key spot to take over that lead position?
Uh, there's so many different lines you can take through there. It's so wide. It's definitely wasn't out of the question. Maybe not the most ideal place to overtake, but yeah, it's one of those areas where you really have to put the power down smooth, and if you get into it a little bit too much, then it's going to start sliding out on you.
Well, Dave, you had an excellent run this evening. It was enjoyable watching you and Espinoza go at it. I know you grabbed the lead from him probably middle way of the race, and it was kind of back and forth there. But a great run from you. I do have to. I've got to know something here. I read your profile. It shows you married and a parent of an Australian Shepherd. Do you mind sharing with the viewers what the name of that Australian Shepherd is?
Oh, he's an awesome dog, but his name is Ender, and we can call him Indy for short.
Okay, Indy. All right, not to be confused with Enzo, which is in that new movie, by the way, coming to theaters near you, Racing in the Rain. But David, hey, again, congratulations, Dallas, Texas. My brother and I are formerly from Dallas, Rockwall area, so applaud you on your great second place finish.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for all y'all are doing at GSRC. You're doing a great job. And thanks to Apex Button Box and Precision Racing League for making it possible. Also, great job, Briscoe and Lyndon Swaby, both coming in the top.
Yeah, definitely. Sean, you've caught up with the third place finisher.
Yeah.
Speaking of Grisco.
Yeah, gonna talk to Christian Gritsko now. And Christian, man, that was a good one, but you spent a lot of time on that track by yourself, didn't you?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's a track where I don't like having pressure put on me because I just overthink, and the smallest mistake can just put you off the track, especially today because it was really, really hot and slippery. And so, I couldn't complain that I was by myself. I was able to just focus on my line and nothing else. But, Overbay was catching up to me at one point at the beginning, at least in the first stint before the pit. And I thought that for sure he was going to pass me in the pits. But yeah, I don't mind racing on my own, especially on a hard track like this.
Yeah, well, and I wanted to bring that up. I talked in the intro to this race tonight about the fabulous disaster that was Mosport last week, and you survived that. You survived it really well last week, and you come here to another really technically challenging track, and well, you find yourself on the podium. Listen, it's been a good start to the season for you here. I think this has been your third race. You didn't finish round two, and now you've got three top five. So things got to be looking up here heading to Bathurst.
Oh, definitely. Technical tracks for some reason, I guess I just click well with. I'm not the fastest in them, but usually I perform better than most. Even when I first joined PRL for the iRacing League, we were running the Skippies in Detroit, and I won that race just because I didn't hit the wall and everyone else
Right.
did. So, just stuff like that is really good for me. But I actually did race in the second race, but I got caught up in that pileup at the very beginning, and my car got destroyed. So I'm hoping that's my only incident for the rest of the season, and hopefully it'll keep me in the top 5 for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I was looking at the wrong line on my sheet. That was a DNF for you there in round two. Tough way to end that one indeed. But with a podium tonight, and like I said, what's been really a solid start to the season, you're looking pretty in the points. And as we head to Bathurst, what's the plan? Much like tonight, just kind of get out there and survive that one.
Pretty much. Bathurst, I've always loved it ever since the beginning, since I first ever tried it on any sim. But it's basically the same thing, stay off the wall, keep out of trouble, make the moves where it counts. last season with the Radical, or the season before, I can't remember. It was, I was doing well, and then at the very end, I got caught in a wall. So I'm just gonna try and keep it steady like I have so far with this season. This car is, in my opinion, easier to handle. So I'm hoping that I can continue this trend, and I'm enjoying having these interviews and being in the top spot and seeing my teammate win the races or get close to. He's obviously faster than me, but I enjoy having him around in front of me. It takes the pressure off of me.
Christian, this is John, Sean's brother. So we have here your nickname is the Grits. Is that true?
I guess so. I guess it just picked up once I joined. My friends in real life, they do call me Grits sometimes, but I guess these guys took it a little further and put the at the beginning.
Well, there you have it, Sean. Now we can say putting on the grits. For these
Jeez. We left Joe in the booth, to get away from that. But Christian, congratulations, buddy. We'll see you at Bathurst next week. We're looking forward to that one. Another personal favorite of both of these commentators. So we'll look forward to seeing you there, and what is hopefully a continued climb here through the points championship here and the Precision Race League and the Formula 3 Series.
Yeah, hopefully I'm gonna enjoy that race, and I can't wait to put on a show for you guys as well. You guys do an amazing job, and I'm sure everybody would say the same, and the people that watch me and my teammates, they all enjoy watching it every single week. I also want to congratulate my teammate again for getting another podium, and Lyndon for getting a top 10 spot after a rough start so far this season, but he's doing very well already.
Indeed he is, and that was Christian Gritzko. And Johnny, it was a good one here at COTA. We had an adventure here a couple years ago, and I'll never forget it. It was probably one of the more memorable racing moments in my life. This was a memorable one tonight. I think we were both surprised that the field actually did as well as they did in this one tonight. Your thoughts?
We said that in the breakaway there. After the race, I'm so surprised at the lack of carnage and the drivers that fell out. They all did an exceptional job. And hey, let's face it, Sean, no driver went away in an ambulance such as me.
That's right. You did go away in an ambulance from COTA. He survived, everyone. He's here with me, obviously. Listen, lots of people to thank. We want to start with thanking the Apex Button Box. We're a proud sponsor of the Precision Racing League Formula 3 Series here on the Global SimRacing Channel and the iRacing Esports Network. And of course, we want to thank them. And if you just joined us and you stumbled across IESN on YouTube, there's a button there that's glowing red. It says subscribe. Click it. Become one of the many thousands of subscribers here. Over 22,000 of them now here on the iRacing Esports Network. We got a little over 8,000 there over on Global SimRacing Channel, so we get a chance. Go on over there and give us a subscription as well. We'd love to see it. We want to thank the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcast listed right here on your screen now. With that, we got to thank June Lalonde, who provides us for all the great music you hear on the network. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. And give her a shout. Go check out some of June's work. It's amazing. Thanks to the team today, my brother Johnny, Joe Peak behind the controls there at the desk, Dougie Beard on the cameras. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, well, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com, or you can watch the next races there. Scroll across on your screen now. If you'd like to find out even more about us, you can find us on social media. We're on Twitter at GSR Channel. Facebook, just go on over there and type in Global Sim Racing Channel or GSRC. You'll find us. And of course, on Instagram, you can find us at GSRC_Gram. We talked about it. We reminisced a little bit. Bathurst next week, Thursday night, July 25th, 9 p.m. Eastern. You gotta be here. If you're not, you'll miss it. We also have those upcoming races I talked about on your screen. Mark those down on your calendar. But until next time, everybody, Race clean, race hard. We'll see you on the track.